Beautiful lovely gamers, my name is Jonal. Today we are coaching a 3.7k D.va round, taking a little bit look at and this is one of those lobbies that I actually find a little bit funny, because you can see there's like a top 500 here, there's a GM here, there's another GM there, and then there's a diamond here. It's one of those ranked games where the difference in ranked on players are gaping, I suppose, is a word to use. But anyway, we'll take a look at how to play D.va. He's going to play D.va with a bunker comp, so with a rest and so on. And the overall notes for today's video, the stuff that we've been taking a look at the most, is we're gonna take a little bit, let me see here and just find my notes. There we go. So matrix usage and management, including the booster management and usage, so essentially ability usage, a little bit up on the positioning, how he does trades with his booster, his accuracy, a little bit about his pre-aiming and so on, and also, you know, positioning, how to position around the team and so on. That's what we're going to take a look at today. Of course, a like on the video helps against YouTube's abusive algorithms. I'm gone on vacation as this goes up. I'm back in early January. But if you're interested in getting coaching on YouTube here, then there's on the Discord server, there's a help channel where you can post your VOD. Of course, always, if you can also help other people review their VODs, then I will review it, or you guys can review it, and you guys can help each other out. And of course, if you want to hire me as a private coach, it's 50 euros for a 2-hour session. Hit me up on Discord, doesn't matter if you're bronze or top 500. Now, with no further ado, let's begin. I think the easiest way is to actually just start. So let's just start the VOD. I think that's the easiest way to go today. Let's not do the fear crafting. Okay, so we have an Orisa, then we are playing a D.va ourselves. Not the most common combo. This was normally played before Sigma was released as like an aggressive alternative. So you could use the D.va to get very quickly up close, and that's D.va works really well as soon as you can do that. If you can use Matrix a little bit to peel, and then you can get up close and personal with the shotguns onto the main tank of the opposing guy. You have some missiles there, you have some booster. That is like some of the stuff that you want to be able to do. This is the first, of course, bad sign. Now, right now, I think I have it on double speed, actually. Bum. Okay, the first bad sign is this. As you can see, as he walks out, first of all, where's the crosshair? Versus down here. For some reason, the tank players think that they all don't need to aim in the same way DPS players do. So again, putting crosshair and pre-aiming where the opposing team is going to come from, especially important since you do matrix, but also so on. And again, if you put your crosshair higher, it's normally easier to make headshots. That way you don't have to flick up to where the enemy is and then flick even further up to land the headshot. You just need to actually hold mouse 1. So pre-aim, start pre-aiming, start putting your crosshair higher. It does help, also help you look a little bit around. He's going to run in a straight line, and then he's going to burn his entire matrix on eating one orb. Let's rewatch that. Bum, 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 bum. There. That's what we needed. We needed this amount. All of this is just getting wasted. So, matrix usage. When do we matrix? It's very similar to Genji's deflect ability. We matrix when we are blocking something of value. Okay? Moira's ult can be counted as value because it's going to deal 200 damage. We don't want her to build coalescence too fast. For Ryan's Firestrike will come right after this. We can count that as value. Certain damage outputs will sometimes be value, right? For example, a Reaper that's shooting our wrist or shooting at us can be categorized as value, right? We want to block stuff that is actually worth something. And we don't want to waste Matrix on stuff that is not worth burning it on, right? So right now we're just burning it on air, which doesn't count. Right, didn't get to the fire strikes. They have some ult charge and that on their things. Okay, Zarya comes up here. We start angling to the right. There's a tank to the left. There's some mouse running and so on. And now we will very soon see. He flies in. He flies out. Why do we do this? Why is that a D.va mechanic that some D.vas play do? Why do you fly? And I want you to answer to it for yourself. Why do you ever fly in and then fly back out? Because you're not really trading in damage, right? So why do you do it? Got your answer? It's for space creation. It's for physical space creation. There's two types of space in this game, right? The first thing is the classic space, right? Where essentially, let's say, a random tank, but in this example, or a random player, actually, this can be DPSs as well, but let's say a Ryan, just because it's like super easy to visualize a Ryan. Like what their Ryan do, for example. Their Ryan and also, of course, the Zarya, which are both kind of playing very close to this choke here, are saying, okay, if you want to move into the point, then me and the Zarya will deal, I will swing my hammer and whatever, and she will beam you, and that will, deal, X plus Y damage, right? So the Ryan damage plus Zarya damage, which is, so and so much damage. Can you tank that? Can you sustain that? Do you want to take the damage? Yes, no, right? That is space. Essentially just standing on an area and saying, if you play in the area that we have control over, then we will deal so much damage to you, and then that's up to you to say, okay, but I will trade back so and so much myself, I will get healed so much, and then you have to think if that's something that you want to do, if you want to go from a different way, if you want to try to make them move by not fighting them. So for example, if they were outside the point, if you want to go to the point to make them back to the point and then allow you to walk up, right? Stuff like that. The second one is physical space, and that's something like, you know, if they get pushed or something like that. And that's what the D.va does. When the D.va flies like that, she's just pushing people away and physically creating some of that space. The issue is, of course, that one, you're not dealing damage at that point, and the other issue is, two, you're taking damage while doing that. So that is the issues. Number three is, of course, that you don't have booster. So, for example, doing this in an exposed position, for example, ramp here, this is a quite exposed position, right? There's not really any way, like you can run backwards, right? But if the Zarya decides to double you into you and you don't have a shield, so if you don't have a shield here, then this is an exposed position. Flying in there and then landing without the booster, all of a sudden they should get pushed. And we will see that later, that he will use his booster on the staircase, land here, and get pushed very quickly by an advanced main group and lose his smack. So that's why. And I wanted you guys to notice how this is burned. So you can argue for if this is a good or bad booster. I need to actually watch this area again if I'm going to see if it's a good bad booster. Flies into the Genji, shoots the Genji, flies out, right? So tries to dive the Genji. Didn't really get anything out of it. Trades some health. Now he doesn't have the booster. Pops missiles and matrix. Okay, whatever. His tank rotates. He rotates with his tank. That's fine. You want to guard the tank here at that point, right? So playing around the tank in this scenario is fine. Flanking through main would just get you killed, right? The job of the D.va at this point is to help the Orisa nuke one of these two tanks. Problem is, of course, that we come very late to this rotation. So, right, so the Orisa has already started the rotation, and we're still here. Right, she's on stairs now. Right, we would have wanted to already be here up with her to get some damage in, to not let this Ryan close the gap for free, and also to not let the Orisa take damage in the beginning. The Orisa took damage in the beginning, now she backed off, and that leads to us having to... Right, she's getting pushed here, right? He gets bubbled, you come back in, right? Then you again fly here. This gives you nothing, right? Pushing them, you don't even push them really, right? You just kind of fly and down in front of them, and you just heal. You're half health here and not really doing anything, right? Popping some matrix, again taking excessive amount of damage, right? This is also where we start talking about positioning. So this is known as a bad position, right? It's an aggressive position, but it's a bad position. This doesn't give you anything, right? You're standing in the middle. Here you have left side. You can rotate left. Oh, sorry, the pen didn't work. Left, right. You have DPSs on the right that can to some extent deal with you, right? That is a safer position. You have, let me see here. If you, for example, land and you go left, the opposing team is here. You can back off a little bit now. You will get your booster back, right? I do believe your wrist on the right side, right? So, and your Hanzo is also on the right side. I think at least you have a Hanzo. You have a Hanzo, right? I think you have a Hanzo. Whatever. You have DPSs on the right side. Where is the Hanzo token? Whatever. So you have DPS on the right? So if they want to push you, then they of course are, you know, angling the shield the wrong way or something like that. And if they want to if the Ryan want to push, you know, here, then you can hopefully get something done. Of course, the Zarya can beam you, but you have mobility, so you can fly around and so on. That's also pressure off your front line, right? So putting yourself here, fine. Or even trying to rotate back to your Orisa. But standing here in the middle with no cover is really bad, right? And again, it's not like you're maximizing damage output either, because if you wanted to maximize damage output on some of these tanks, you would want to position yourself closer to these corners, so they have to run the corner to be effective, right? I just stand all the way over here, or they wanted to run the corner on you. For example, this Ryan. Like if you want to push the Orisa, you want to be closer, right? And that's an issue because again, when you're not getting demeched here, that's fine, but you're drawing healing away from other people on the team, which is not very good, right? And you're also forced to burn certain abilities, right? So you come here, whatever, you matrix. Again, was there anything to matrix there? Not really, right? So we burned a big chunk of our matrix for no reason. We burned booster here for no apparent reason. Why do we burn booster? We can use it offensively. We can use it defensive. Offensively is logically, we can use the, you know, fly and push them away to build space. We can directly dive somebody, which is a super easy way to get effective use of our shotguns and our missiles, which is the aggressive way of using it. Then of course we have committed to this fight, 5-second cooldown. So then we have committed to that kill, to that fight. So it's kind of like boost into somebody if you think that, you know, at least you're not going to get demeched off it. You're expecting to get a kill, or they will, you know, burn abilities to disengage. You can use this a little bit more freeingly to do those dives because the cooldown is much shorter than something like a Tracer recall or a Genji dash. And second of all, you can use this defensively, right? So if you're in a position, you can use it defensively. You can also use it to repositioning. For example, if you're playing down in main with your team, or your team want to push through main, and the entire team has set up this like insane fucking bunker, then you can, for example, put yourself over here with your booster and play aggressively for this angle to try to maybe deal some damage, get some picks, right? Especially if they have placed supports or DPSs over here, you flying up here and being irritating at this location can force these guys back, take them out a little bit, then you can trade, drop back down, and either have your booster back or soon have it back, so you walk, then you fly back to your team. That could relieve some of the pressure instead of standing still in main and shooting a shield, right? So that is way same like if your team had pushed onto the objective. Let's say you push onto the objective and you for some reason wanted to get here, but you didn't want to go through main, right? Because whatever reasoning, then you could of course fly over this wall and land here and get there faster, right? So that's also a way. So if your rest of them had made it into here, but you couldn't push from main for some reason, using walls is also an effective way of burning boosters to reposition, to get to quickly get to a more effective space, right? But this makes no sense. Then you stand here again. Please take one of the two sides if possible. Relying on shields in this meta, especially in the meta that we're in now, where shield breaks so fast, is really, really bad. You're also feeding her graviton. Trading more, not really doing anything. Flying into them, pushing them back. Okay. I don't think he was in melee range. She might have been. This is actually a really good position for you guys, because this is actually a bad push for you. Because he is committed. If you notice here, they burn bubble. Great. You have your hands on your right. Your team is with you, right? He has committed past his choke point very soon, in like a second or two. Here, he has now been pulled past. So he is now committed. There's a hands here, and you guys pushing in there. His shield is cracking. It's soon down. This is actually really good for you guys. You pushing him here actually saves your team. And make sure that your team, essentially you guys are stopping a kill from happening on your team. You fly in here, push the enemy team away, giving them space, right? Giving this Rhine the corner, so it's difficult to get to him. He survives. You yourself get pushed by the Lucio. You guys do get the Rhine, which is good. Then you booster here and stop early. Bum, bum, bum. Right, yeah, booster. You can just walk up, not shooting. You booster here for no reason. Stop. Now you can't play aggressive anymore. Right, you do some missiles, which is great. Would be nice now. Look at the health of this. Sorry, you broke the shield, right? She's getting kind of low. You might want to play aggressive now. There's a cool lesson here, so maybe you don't wanna, but you don't have the option to play aggressive because you already burned the booster. Right, so you trade a lot of damage here, which is great, but don't get anything out of it. Same with here. Late reaction time and wasting a booster again on... He dies, and then you have very slow reaction time. You kind of dive to save your friend, and then you don't dive to save your friend. Now you're back, now you don't have booster again, so you can't push any of these two aggressively, even though you have so many picks. You wanted to push them aggressive, you have full health, you pocketed, you want to push these people aggressively with booster, you don't have it. Right now you're trading with this Zarya in an unfavorable situation, and you're putting yourself into crossfire. You're also in a position again with no cover. So again, he can shoot you, she can shoot you, she can shoot you. You can't block this one, you can't block that one. You can block that one with Matrix, but then you can't deal damage. And you don't have booster yet, it's 1 second, so you're taking ridiculous amount of damage for no fucking reason, right? So again, your damage output is low, your ability to capitalize on this is very low. You're flying on Zarya, you barely doesn't get the kill because you flick off the target. And here you can kind of start seeing a bad mechanical aim. And this is something that you need to practice, you know, aim hero, really good, like an aim trainer. Also, Anabots can be practiced like this. Notice how the crosshair goes. Body shot, miss, headshot, miss, matrixing, something, whatever. Back to this, hit. Okay, decent, a little bit off target, a little bit off target, a little bit off target, right? Not the best mechanical aim. Also, like headshot-wise, and again, you're not fighting in the face of the Zarya, so the Zarya has damage advantage. With D.va shotgun, because the spread's so big, you need to get up there. That's why booster is a thing. So playing cover to cover is really important with shotgun character like D.va, and having booster available. Then so that even if you are at a cover and need to go to the next cover and need to like push somebody from this cover and not be caught in this no man land where they can kite you, that's why we have boosters to close this gap in no man's land, right, where there's no cover. Okay, your entire team loses, you get demacked, you die, and then reset. Okay, back to the next fight. Your wizard broke the shield a little bit early. You eat there, you burned a lot of your matrix there, didn't you? How much? Wait, they wasted Zarya bubble. That's really good to know. You burn matrix. Okay, so it was burned to right around here when you ate the shatter. Right, the hands was left, so you're not eating him. Okay, it wasn't that much of a waste. It's fine. That's just my bad then. Flying in here, what did that create? Nothing. You just fed 400 HP worth of full charge. Now every heal is supposed to pocket the shit out of you. Your wrists are rotated. You can't join her. You're not caught here. Right? Was there any reason to fly in there? No, you're not a main tank. You don't have a shield. You just flew into this area. Gave her a bunch of full charge. Here I would like see. Here I was like, okay, great. He has bomb. He has booster in 1 second. I would assume that he would like back off and fling the bomb and then land it like somewhere here so that this Ryan is split or something like that. Which you don't do. You just kind of, you know, go and fly into your tank. Push the Rhino away. See, this is good. Like, outside of the fact that he might have died here, but this is a good usage of it. You thought your tank was getting pushed, like so the theory is right. You thought your tank was getting pushed. You wanted to stop them from pushing your tank, so you pushed away the Rhine. Physically got him out of range of the Orisa, so Orisa can keep her distance, right? So that was actually a really good usage of it. Here, again, I would also start, you know, I would personally like to see almost soon getting a bomb, but it doesn't happen. They gravitate on the wall. Here we see again some weird tracking, but you put up the, you did put up the matrix and ate some stuff. That's fine. Back into play. Diving the hands right. This is how we want to play D.va. Just we want to track a little bit better. Like again, so many like you can't like masters and tracking down here and not landing anything up here is very disappointing, right? You gotta work on your accuracy, especially tracking wise, because this mechanical aim is not very good. Here you can play D.va 2 ways. You can play her this far back. You can also play one of these 3. So 1, 2. A lot of people like to play number 3 here to get like this more steeper angles, especially like number 2 and 3, which is on the right side because they will push like that. So this will be the least, and then the least obvious one, and then you can deal some damage and you can fly back to your team, also denying this high ground if you play on number 3. And that's what some people like to do. You can also play super far back if you're scared of taking a lot of damage. They have a Zarya, so you need to watch out for that. That's what some people like to do. Good eat on the fire strike. She burn bubble. Now you know that. You're trading a little bit, just getting some HP checks. Fine missile usage, early missile usage, which is good, forcing that cooldown, so you will soon have it back. They pull here, really great. They rush in, you push them back, you fly out, really good. You're not split 2 of the tanks. I don't know if you did that essentially. I don't think you did. But whatever. You are damaging. You push him back once more, even though, again, did you need to do that? No. You could have flew in and you could have committed. You're 600 health, you have your damage, you got 2 picks. You should have committed to this. Why did you stop the boost? You had him, you just helped him get out faster. Now he charges out, he gets out. You dive the Moira, who also gets out. This is a really sad sustain of tracking. That was see this flank, for example, was really good, right? That is a good usage of your matrix, right? It's like, okay, this will deal stupid amount of damage for no reason. Let's just delete that real quick. But then notice this tracking. You're tracking walls, you're not hitting, you get frustrated with yourself, you punch her and you fly out, right? You gotta start landing those headshots. You gotta also walk into people like Moira. Again, most people doesn't have a fallout range, right? Like that is like if they're fighting the D.va, their fallout range is nowhere near. Like you going closer to them in most scenarios, unless it's another shotgun user, wouldn't cost you anything. Again, why did you fly here? No reason, right? This got you nothing. Outside you waste your boost, you will get D-back now. But again, you are. If you're fighting people that with beams or with rifles or anything like that, just fucking W into them when you're shooting. Use matrix sometimes, even to matrix, even if you don't have a missile, just to get up in their face and just mouse one the better to get that damage on, and use your booster to close the gap and be like up top, like inside of their hitbox as your mouse running. It does that you can consistently hit all the pellets to like body and headshot range. You're trading pretty aggressively here. You take a shit ton of damage, and this is because, again, you wasted your booster. You were forced to nuke, and then you die here. Bum. Also really bad. Again, like this is like those scenarios right there are like really good nuke targets, right? Like especially if, well, lower elo nuke targets specifically, right? The master this sometimes works, sometimes doesn't, because people have a sense of understanding that they are supposed to play cover to cover. Right? But again, like when people are pushing through chokes like this is more for the people in lower elos. When people are pushing through choke like this, and you can see it's very like long and narrow, right? The tank will be here and on the front line. People will sometimes try to push upstairs. Sending a nuke that lands like here-ish is really good because you block that stairway, force people to move to the sides, and you leave the tanks up here. Or you drop it, if the Rhine has committed to the point, for example, you drop it somewhere here into his backline to try to force him to force him to shield it that way, exposing him to your team, and also forcing these guys to shield or disengage and hide, because he can't block both for himself and for his entire backline. Maybe he can block for one, maybe the Zarya can run out, but for example, a support down on the staircase will have to hide, and he has the block, so then you have two people that are very vulnerable, no healing, and he is wasting the shield, right? It's a very like common way of using bomb. If you know the timings and the distance that you can send it, that is like very nice way of shutting down, or at least giving you an advantage early in the team fight, because they have committed to the fight, but at the same time you do stuff. Here you're trying to eat for the Widow, and I suppose this is like just like nice supported play, right? Just make sure that she doesn't get dinged. Again, please start running and using your cover. You're playing this like your plat, like this is not master positioning. Please hug this wall, use this thing to block LOS, and when you get closer, you want to go to here, so you have cover from here. So you can end cover from there and cover from there. So you can use this pillar, and then you can use this part of this wall to block that side of LOS, right? So you want to hug this wall. You ideally use this or that as cover. You can use this pillar to block this window, or this like line of sight if there's people there. And then you go 1, and then you go 2, and then you can start thinking about using this to go to 3, and then now you have closed the gap. Please stop running in a straight line like this. And please learn to put your crosshair higher. Okay, there's people here. Okay, have you checked where your Orisa is? Because I'm not sure where it is. I might also pause a lot, so I don't really know. There's a really passive shield for your Orisa, but it's whatever. Sorry, use personal. They used their gift bubble. You tried to hit the grab. That's fine. You didn't manage to do it. It's fine. You get DMAG, you die to the dragon. And this is lost. Yeah, and this is lost. Okay, so what have we learned today? Matrix and booster usage. Please stop wasting booster. Please stop flying into people. Use it to create space, and that's it. Outside that, you want it so that you can actually die people. A D.va without a booster is not a scary D.va, because you can't actually close the gap on anybody. That's her, like, missiles are a big part of her damage output, but without booster, you can't actually close the gap and use your main thing, which is shotguns. Please stop wasting, please look for eating viable things and not holding, like using viable, eat value, stuff that is of value. Please increase your APM. Start thinking about pre-aiming, start thinking about not looking into the ground, because it makes it easier for you to headshot. Work on your tracking, and more specifically, focus a little bit on where you're standing. Your positioning is really bad. You're not using cover, right? Like going from here, hugging this wall, going to here, running up, using this cover, using that cover if the enemy team is on this side, right? Because now you're constantly trying to chip away from their cover. You can also run here, of course, and then here, and then there, and then you have the same path, right? That way you're using cover, and you will never be caught out. Please stop trying not land here, you land here, so at least you make it so that if they want to run after you, they have to run out. So they can't just stand in the safety of their point, the wall blocks them from your team, and they can just beam you, and you can't move. So use cover, lift these basic mechanical stuff. Outside that, work on your ability management. It's hurting you so much. As always, guys, like on the video, comment down below if you want to submit your own VOD, help on our Discord server, and please help also review other people. It's a good experience for you to learn, both as a coach and as a player. And of course, if you want to hire me as a private coach, it's €50 for a 2-hour session. Hit me up on the Discord server. Doesn't matter if you're bronze, top 100. Anyway, take care of yourself, guys. Happy holidays. I love you guys very much. My name's been Jonal, and you guys keep the enemy in your crosshair.